How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you get to do this one from home?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have half days starting today until April 14th, so I can study for my exam.
Oh yeah? What's the exam you taking?
Municipal clerk.
Oh, okay. Cool. I think I'm gonna take my real estate exam.
Are you?
Yeah, I did it twice already. Passed the test every time, and I just never got the. I never signed up. It was always like, oh, I have free time. Then it's like all of a sudden I'm ready to pick someone, and something always came up, change of jobs or whatever. Yeah. I want to focus on farm sales.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You gotta get out of the way. Yeah. You're gonna be a pain, aren't you?
I think it should be a short one tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, the new secretary will take over next meeting. Her furnace caught fire.
Oh God.
So they're living out of a box right now. So I was like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of the meeting. So she's kind of like juggling that and 3 kids. And she's a real estate agent.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you set up a Google Drive folder for agriculture advisory?
I don't know if I did.
I don't know if there is one.
If not, I can.
I liked how everything was in the planning board one.
I'll write that down. Did I talk about that last meeting? I probably didn't do it.
No. I'm not really sure what Catherine did with the stuff.
She saved everything to her computer.
Oh, shit.
Which I have everything. We actually we have our laptop. We we just changed all of her user information to just generic Fosbic.
Yeah, so, I thought that was a good idea. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
Anyone-
we did. Well, I separated it. We just do generic emails, but her laptop is just a FOSBIC thing, but it's Tiana anyway.
Yeah.
But all the stuff is in there and categorized, and that's why I found the plan.
Yeah, thank you. I guess that's the latest one. I know she had a lot of iterations of it, but.
Yeah, that's the latest one I could find.
All right, cool. Oh, these ones are recorded too?
Yeah, they all have to be recorded.
A lot of rain's coming. Shoot.
All that.
Not ready for that.
We're still swampy from the snow melting on my property. It's going to be.
Oh,
horrible.
yeah, absolutely. The drainage here is not bad. I've improved a little bit, but when it rains, there's just a few days for the first like foot is a mess.
Mhm.
What's up, Bill? Ooh, excuse me.
Hey, John.
Hi, Krista.
How's it going, John?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Mr. Dufasi?
Hello. I finally hit the right button. Hey, hey, hey. How is everybody?
Hanging
well.
in there.
Good,
How about you?
good, all good.
Good.
Hi there, it's Ann.
Hi, Ann.
How's it going, Ann? Guess we can get going.
Yep, it's 7 o'clock.
All right. So I'd like to call to order the East Amwell Township Agriculture Advisory Committee regular meeting for March 17th.
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, this is a regular scheduled meeting pursuant to the annual meeting notice published in the January 28th, 2021 issue of the Hunterdon County Democrat. Copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Hunterdon County Democrat, filed in the Township Clerk's office, posted on the bulletin board and Township website. Kit Christofoli, Ann Del Campo,
Yes,
Bill Dufresne,
Here.
John Mills,
Here.
John Parings, Mike Mills.
Here. Okay. So has everybody reviewed the agenda for tonight? It's a pretty short one, I would say.
okay.
Okay. Has everyone reviewed the minutes of the February 17th meeting?
We don't have a quorum to approve them.
We don't?
Yeah.
No, Ann wasn't here last month.
I can't,
Oh,
I
okay.
have to, yeah.
Okay. So
We can
just
hold
go on.
off and maybe someone will pop in soon.
Sure. There's someone.
That might be Darcy.
Krista, I cannot vote, right?
That's correct. She can move to open to the public, Mike.
Okay.
We have one.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to open to the public.
Second,
Second.
If there's anyone from the public that would like to speak?
Nope.
No? Okay. Make a motion to close to the public?
second,
Okay. So then we'll move on to our oral reports.
So Ann, that's the first, so someone has to make a second.
Oh,
So
I'll
Ann
second it.
motion. Okay.
All right. So I'll move on to oral reports. Nothing to report on FOSPEC besides the new secretary. No meeting last month or this month, but we'll have one next month. John usually reports on the CADB, but I have nothing from that if anybody else does. Does anybody have anything on the CADB?
no,
No? Okay. So then we'll move on to some unfinished business. Does anyone want to speak about the farm project? Was everyone aware what went down in our meeting last week? Is everyone pretty much on the same page now where we are? Anyone have any comments?
any highlights from it that were important for our group?
I guess the overwhelming consensus is that we're going to set aside or push aside any move to change zoning to 25 acres at this point. That's about the gist of it. There's still some stuff that I'm interested in the farm project that I think we can focus on. But overall, that farm project is, as far as acreage, the 25 acres is definitely out of the way. But there's still some review of some of the other zones that we're looking to work with in along the highway. And Krista, what's the other one? There's
The village.
highway and the village. So there's still
Yeah.
some work that we can do to, make farming it more economically viable that we think would be worth the efforts.
So remind me, what was the farm acreage in the Amwell Valley before the 25?
It's currently 10, it was changed to 5 years ago and then to 10. And there was a push to move it to 25.
How many farms does this, so everybody's grandfathered, I would assume, if they're less.
Well, it's kind of a moot point at this
Yeah.
time because they're not pursuing it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Krista. Okay.
What they will be pursuing is looking into rezoning possibly the 202-31 corridor and in the village, due to mostly the village because of the impervious lot coverage and how it restricts them from putting a small shed or a small above ground pool in for their children because of such small lots. So we're still going to look at that because we are re-examining our master plan. So that's part of that.
Okay,
Okay, so if there's nothing else about the farm project, I'll move on to the farmland preservation plan. And I just received the most recent copy from Krista, so I'm going to be reviewing that over the next few weeks, but I think we have some time before we need to finalize that plan sometime, I think next year it's due now. So
Yeah,
if
and I
anyone
got an
wants-
email, I think someone from the state, I guess you could get a grant to help with that. So I can forward that on to you.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Okay. And I can forward that on to anybody that would like to see the current state. I think I'm going to put it into a Google Doc that we can share just to track some of our edits and be a little bit more proactive about it. So that's where I'm on that. Update on the farming resources bulletin board. I did not get a chance to reach out to Allison, who was helping out with that. So we had talked last week about maybe Krista helping out with something, but it escapes me right now. Do you
Put it
remember,
on our
Krista?
township webpage.
Yeah, doing something just basic on the site. So we still haven't reviewed that either, but I'm just gonna say we'll push that to just some discussion outside of this for now. Okay. So then on to the preserved property maintenance. I know that you guys were working with Rick and some others as far as a plan or some type of plan of attack with that, but I'm not in the loop on that one. Does
Yeah,
anybody have any information on that?
I'm trying to get Kit in, they're having trouble accessing.
If you're talking about the don't know.
Okay. Yeah, multiple mowings, and hopefully they're not just trying to say, oh, look, we did something.
Right.
Let's hope.
And
actually
and they might think that, but it's the wrong time of year. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you got to wait for the seeds to come up and everything, the plants to come up and
Right.
seed out.
Well, you have to mow it before it goes to seed.
Final seed.
So,
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to mow it twice a year. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Mike, excuse me, Mike, I'm sorry. Which property was that we're discussing for the maintenance?
Many properties around town, but the one, Bill, if you want to speak to that property.
Yeah, the one that was brought up is the one that DNR Greenway has on Cider Mill Road.
I got it.
Is that next to yours, Bill?
Pardon?
Is that next to you?
Catty cornered. Our properties don't touch, but almost.
Okay.
But definitely impacted by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll keep that on the agenda for next week or next month, just to keep, see where we are. I'll follow up with Rick about that, see if anything's happened. I believe Kit was also.
Yeah, he's coming in now, I think.
Oh, cool.
They had issues getting on. Is that you, Lindsay? or Kit? Yeah, that's Lindsay's phone.
Hey, Krista, we're on.
Okay.
Sorry.
We did it.
Good job. We were just talking about the property maintenance and if there's been any updates on.
Yeah, Bill, did you hear from Rick? I know this farm project kind of became a black hole of life this month. Did anybody hear from Rick or anything?
No, haven't heard anything
Yeah.
from Rick or anyone.
Yeah. So we'll I guess table it till next month, and we'll see. We'll send an email to Rick maybe and see if he can get us a connection with somebody to meet there and try and move forward with this.
Yep.
But this is what happens. They kind of disappear. They sent that whole presentation from 3 years over, and then they all just disappear again.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so basically you want to get someone to meet you guys over there and go over.
Yeah. Rick had said he had a contact where we can all sit down and try and come up with some sort of a game plan to move forward, and maybe a contact that we can move forward with. It doesn't change every couple months. It seems like they have a lot of turnover, and I think that's one of the big problems too. Everything just keeps falling through the cracks.
Okay.
So,
'Cause, if I can
if
get
you want to mess
involved
with Rick-
in,
yeah,
sorry.
that would be huge. Yeah, if you can get us somebody to sit down with, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah, that'd
John,
be
you're
great.
the liaison, so maybe you can get involved too and get this going.
Will do.
I'm putting
Thank
you to
you.
work. And then while Kit's on the phone, we can approve the minutes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'd like to move to approve the minutes from the February 17th meeting.
Second.
All right.
Well, that was the first. Someone has to second.
I'll second it. Can I second my own call?
Well, you're asking for a motion, and then someone
Yeah.
makes the motion.
Some sense. Kit first, can I second my own
Oh,
motion?
And then all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So then on to new business, small farm initiatives. Since everyone's not on digitally or visually, I'll just go through a quick list. So what I'm working on is a list of different things that people can do either on small farms or large farms if they want to cut out a space. These are ways that you can be highly lucrative on small scale, but also a small amount of effort. So, low impact, low effort, and generate some revenue over time. These aren't like 1 year things, they're often 5-year things. So I have a list and I'll be willing to share this with everyone. I just wanted to work on it a little bit more. I had it open. Hold on 1 second. Got a million screens here. So some of them are a little bit more intensive as far as inputs, but some aren't. So obviously there's nothing profound here. This is all, you guys know all this stuff. It's just I'm trying to create the list for the people that are coming in or the people that want to do something a little bit different. So the big one is nursery crop, fruit trees, other trees, shrubs, perennials, annual seedlings. There's ways to do these in companion plantings in very dense, organized ways where you can be highly productive and use a little bit of space and require a little bit of irrigation and fertilization and things like that. Another important one to me is mushroom production. Again, very passive. You can do this on wood chips or on logs. It's very easy. 1 day of work, you can get a crew out, do it, and then you wait just 6 to 10 months. Some of these things go year after year. Just add a little bit more chips to a couple little days of maintenance, and then you can produce a pretty large amount of mushrooms for harvest. Vermiculture and insects, there's a growing trend of insect as a protein source. So you can raise these insects for bait, for feed and also for fertilizer production. And with insects, I also wrap in vermiculture or worm farming, also for bait and also for feed and also for fertilizer. So these are, again, small things. A lot of people might consider them hobbies, but they're good ways to, also to educate kids with some of these things. So obviously bees, so apiculture for honey and pollination. Poultry with layers or boilers. And a big thing that I got into a few years ago is duck eggs. You can get a lot, there's a high market for, or high margin on duck eggs, and they're great for all the bakers. They seem to love them. Okay, specialty crops, obviously nothing new. Herbs, hot peppers, ginseng, wasabi, horseradish, those sort of things. Some of them take many years to produce, but they're highly valued. I saw at Costco a 4-pound bag of ginseng yesterday. I think it was $68. So yeah, it might take 6 years to produce, but if you're not worried about it, you plant it once, it's cheap to buy as far as a root crop or a root seed. Put it out, you wait 5 years and you might have, a few $1,000s in harvest. Again, it's just a passive thing. It's a native, so it can kind of just do its thing. Medicinal herbs is a high interest for that. And then one of the things I'm really getting into now is integrated forest gardening or food forest production. And that's just a way to set out, say, like a 1/4 acre, an acre of land, however much you wanted, and you do a simple design. You plant that design and it might take 5 to 6 years to generate. And as that's generating, you intercrop a lot of stuff and turn over the product, seasonally. Every year you're improving that soil. Every year everything's maturing to the point where you have almost a self-managed forest. So that's producing throughout the season and in high productivity. So, and then the most intense one is market gardening. I'm sure everyone has heard of market gardening, where you're growing in small lots, often 1/10 of an acre, even smaller sometimes. And you're turning same beds over maybe 6 times a year. It's fairly intensive as far as labor goes, but it's one of the most desirable trends now for new farmers, because they've really dialed in the science, and there's people out there with videos on how to do every step of the way. And it's not easy, but it's defined. There's defined systems that you could just follow, and the markets, as long as you get into a market somewhere, the stuff's just going to sell itself. So those are a few of them that I'm working on now. And oh, sorry, I missed one. Cut flowers. So farm market bouquets and pick your own. So a lot of people are getting into that now too. So that's just the current things. I'm doing all these things currently on the farm I'm at now, and many other things too, but trying to build out ways that I can use this farm as a way to educate people to do some of the other things themselves. So that's about it for small farm initiatives for now, but it's to be continued, and I'll be building on that a lot over the next, who knows, 5-10 years, we'll see. So anyone have any questions about any of those things?
So I have a question. So I think the minimum number of acres is 5 acres to have farmland assessment.
Yes.
So, but many of those initiatives you just mentioned are smaller parcels. So it has nothing to do with farmland assessment. It's just a way of people can use their land to earn some income. Is that correct?
Sure, correct, yeah. So, you don't need a lot of space to farm, and you don't need 5 acres to get right to farm protections. You can have a small farm and be registered and still be protected under many right to farm rules. So I think it's important, but you're right. I'm not saying this is just to achieve some type of farmland assessment or tax break, but these are ways that you could take even a 100-acre parcel, divide some of these things up, get 20, 30 different people to rent out spaces, and you can utilize some of that land in a lease format, or mostly in the lease format, but you have to think that as these people are doing that on your property, it's just improving it. It's building the soil. It's, you know, it's increasing the ecology. It's just increasing the value over time. So that's why I like it.
No, it sounds like all good initiatives. It's just the only other thing I can imagine is that people have to be insured for multiple people coming on their property and farming. That's the
Sure,
biggest expense.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I guess I also didn't mention the community gardening thing. That I love the community gardening, and maybe we can talk about that too. But yeah, you're right. That's insurance is a big thing. So that's why it's nice if 5-10 farmers could come together. They can all do their own market garden, but they'll be able to share their wash station, or they'll be able to share their cold storage. So now you have to find ways that you get 5 or 10 new aspiring farmers. You show them the ways, and then you share the resources on most of the highly expensive things. You know, you could share tillers, you could share equipment, you could share the trucking of stuff to the markets. You can even share a market space. So doing these things in collaboration, it seems like that's going to be the future. So the big problem here, though, is housing, and that's the only thing that's a nut that we have to crack, is how do you have multiple people farming land that can't live there? So that's something that we're trying to think about, of where we have housing and how we get people to the properties to do these things. So that's, we'll see. Maybe that's not the most important thing right now, but that's definitely something that I'm considering.
I think that's a great thing to consider.
Thanks. So anyone else have any other questions about that? And if anybody wants to try any of these very passive things on their farms, you can carve out a little space. I could show you some trees to plant. Some trees they might call the farmer's retirement plan, because you plant them and you farm your farm for 20, 30 years, and those cherry trees or something are now worth 10, 15 grand each because they're great cut wood, things like that. So there's a lot of things we can do to really improve the land, but also make farming more valuable for us. All right, I'll quit my rambling at this point. So, all right, so then I guess I'll make a motion to open to the public.
Can someone make the motion?
Yeah, motion.
Second.
All right.
Does any of the public want to address the committee? Okay, motion to close.
All right. I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
All right. Well, that's it. We did it in 23 minutes. Thanks, everyone.
Can I get a motion to close, to adjourn? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Can I make a motion to adjourn, please?
Second.
Motion.
Bill said, I'm ready to get here.
That was quick, huh?
That was
Yeah.
quick.
All
Thanks,
right,
Mike.
thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Krista.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for the link.
Thanks, Krista.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Good night, folks.